no turning back once you are there. No, there ain't no going home once you are there. Recognize your reflection in the water. Haven't seen yourself in years. The skies are real, they don't define you. Let your boundaries disappear. On a trip through the nowhere zone, leave behind all you ever known. Kill your conscience till you see the light. Your gypsy soul burns in the flames tonight. A single word can turn the heart to ashes. Another word can paint you in divine. Born and bruised is the only road to choose, but the summer moon will never cease to shine. Realize we're all part of the illusion. Nothing's very far from here. Plant your feet, don't let the darkness blind you. Let your boundaries disappear. On a trip through the nowhere zone, leave behind all you've ever known. Kill your conscience so you see the light. Your gypsy soul burns in the flames tonight. On a trip through the nowhere zone, leave behind all you've ever known. Kill your conscience so you see the light. Your gypsy soul is burning in the flame. On a trip through the nowhere zone, leave behind all you've ever known. Kill your conscience so you see the light. Your gypsy soul burning in the flames
Here we are, ladies and gentlemen, the G2 Racing League from Michigan. 10 cars in the field tonight. Andrew Cowart going to be starting on the front row with Scott Whiteman, Art Mine, and John Saunders on the second row. Gerald Thanospool and Kevin Barnes on the third row. Bradley Berry and Kevin Berner on the fourth row. And Bill Schumotz, Michael Grainolds rounding out the field as the drivers have lined up. The pace car is off. And it is time to go racing. This is the highlights from the race, and look for many more to come as they take the green. Off into turn number one, and already got a couple of guys looking a little racy here coming up the middle. And a little 3-wide action coming through 1 and 2 there. Everybody gets lined out. Down the back straightaway and into turn number 3. There is Andrew Cowart, who started on the pole, has dropped back significantly at the moment. Right behind him is Thanos himself, Gerald Poole. And the first lap is led by the 17 of Scott Whiteman. So a huge jump for him. He picks up several positions early on, but here we go. 3 wide once again. John Saunders and Bradley Berry just battling it out for the top position. And Bradley Berry moving to the lead as they go around to complete lap number 2. A lot of really dicey racing throughout the field as everybody is still side by side. There you see Kevin Barnes battling with Gerald Thanos Poole in the 27, starting to make some ground back up, and they are side by side. Do anticipate it'll get spread out for just a little bit, but after some pit stops early, they will get side by side once again. And there's the 14, the pole sitter, Andrew Cowart, who's starting to make some ground back up. He's got the 17 of Scott Whiteman right there, who's dropped to third. And Art Mine now up to second, picking his way towards the front here slowly but surely. And now they're going to try and get 3 wide back behind again. Meanwhile, a little further back, Michael Grana, and we've got a wreck off of turn number 2. Here we see John Saunders in the 88 car. Let's see what happens there as he comes up off turn 2, just gets a little push, gets to the inside wall, or to the outside wall, goes down through the bumpy infield, but manages to keep the car going the right way. No caution comes out. He does go to pit road. As lap 8 gets underway, down into turns 1 and 2, Gerald Poole looking to the inside of the 14 there, Andrew Cowart. As they get there, a little bit of a tap. Andrew manages to hold on to it. Both of them keep going the right way, but a very close call, and it allows the pack to catch back up to them. And it allows the leader, Bradley Berry, to continue to extend his lead. Meanwhile, John Saunders back out on track, but he is a lap down, hoping that some strategy will come into play as the 27 manages to use that incident the previous lap to get a run down to the bottom. Gerald Poole currently sitting in 4th, but Kevin Barnes looking to take it. Can't make anything happen off into turn number 1. Coming out of turn 2 on lap number 9 and starting to see a bit of a run. Gerald Poole getting a little bit of a run. Art Mine struggling a little bit on the high side. Surprised to see a car struggling up high. They go off into turn 3. 3 wide. Art Mine backs out, and he's going to lose several positions here as now the 27 of Kevin Barnes is making a move to the inside down the front straightaway, and they go 2 wide at the start-finish line. Currently, this is 2nd through 6th place, as 1st place has driven away from the field as they go down off into 1-2. The Art Mine trying to fight his way back on the high side. He regains 1 position there, puts himself back up into 4th, and Andrew Cowart gets a huge run down the back straightaway and gets away. But off into 3 and 4, it looks like some of these guys might be just a smidge faster here. Andrew Cowart has him closing back up on him through 3 and 4 down the front straightaway. He gets a little bit of a run here. And they go single file once again. Some excitement on lap 12. Thanos trying to take 2nd place from Andrew Cowart there. They briefly just nudged, just barely touched, coming down the back straightaway. and Gerald Poole loses momentum on that. And here comes the 27 of Kevin Barnes now making a move. He drops around and gets past Gerald Poole, now looking for second from Andrew Cowart as they come off turn 4, picking up several positions just on lap 12 alone as they come to the start-finish line. Everybody gets 2 by 2 once again. Off into turn 1, you still have a side-by-side battle with Gerald Poole and Scott Whiteman. Everybody sorts out, and Scott Whiteman picking up a position from Poole there. In the 17 car, great move there on the high side out of turn 2. Coming to the end of lap 14, Scott Whiteman has a heck of a run going, starting to gain a lot of momentum, and then suddenly gets the wall in turn 4. Manages to keep the car out of trouble, but he loses a position to Thanos there and drops back into 5th. Lap 18, and Kevin Bruner, a car we have not looked at much so far, comes down into turn 3. He's already taken a position from Scott Whiteman, and now Kevin looking to the inside of Gerald Poole, and Kevin Whiteman tries to follow him through, and they are going to go side by side down the front straightaway. At the start-finish line, it is Kevin Bruner now up into 4th place. But side by side off into turn 1 and 2 again, and Gerald Poole comes down just a little bit. You're starting to see some tire wear come into play. These guys aren't running nearly as fast, and it is definitely starting to show. But the 88 on fresher tires after having to go to pit road after the incident early in the race is definitely showing he is a bit faster on those slightly newer tires. And as we start lap 23, Bradley Berry had a huge lead for quite some time, but Andrew Cowart has managed to work his way up into second, and now just a quarter of a second behind him, and he's brought Kevin Barnes with him in the 27 car. Kevin Barnes just over right at 7/10 of a second behind. These 3 cars will now be battling for the lead as they get lined up, and it seems like Bradley Berry might have used up his tires just a little bit. We'll see if he can hang on to it throughout the race, but definitely had a good run early on, and expect to see pit stops change things up just a little bit more here. Lap 27, we are starting to see a lot of pit stops. Bill Schumatz and John Saunders have been to pit road now. And the leader, Bradley Berry, now coming to pit road, and everybody's going to follow him so far. The 68, though, he stays out. That is Kevin Bruner. He had already been to pit road, and he is going to try and make something happen. Also, Michael Grainold's stays out, so he assumes the lead. However, briefly, he will have to stop here in a lap or two, but Michael Grainold's known for stretching that fuel as far as he possibly can. He is definitely doing that again here. After green flag pit stops, everything gets a lot more exciting. After the round of green flag pit stops, Bradley Berry opens up a 2.8 second lead coming off pit road. But behind him, everything changed up dramatically. Kevin Bruner now moving up into second place. He had an epic pit stop, and it really paid off for the 68 car. The 27 car, that is Kevin Barnes. He now moves up into third, and he brings Scott Whiteman with him in 4th. Scott right behind him, just staying with him, and now they have to go the distance from here. Art Mine, after having gone backwards early in the race, now back up to 5th and starting to make his way back towards the front. Andrew Cowart as they cross the finish line, Andrew Cowart actually picked up 5th spot and also moved Gerald Thanos Poole back to 6th. Art Mine now drifts back into 7th. Michael Graynolds had the lead for about 2 laps and then gave it up while he was on pit road. He drifts back to 8th. Bill Schumont's in 9th. And John Saunders off track again. Looks like he might be done for the day. With 29 laps to go, the battle for 3rd through about 7th place really heating up front as the 27 leads that pack around. That is Kevin Barnes. He's got Scott Whiteman up on the high side. Gerald Thanos Poole dropping to the bottom, and they have Andrew Cowart, the pole sitter, right there with him, and every position still up for grabs from 3rd through 7th, and this group drafting up is starting to gain ground on 2nd place Kevin Bruner. Gerald Poole down to the bottom. He's been working that bottom line all night, making it work despite the guys up on the high side carrying a little bit more momentum off the top line there. He's been managing to make that bottom line work really well, sending it down into turn 3, but the 27, Kevin Barnes, nobody's been able to get around him as of yet. Down the front straightaway, they are still battling for every position. It seems like one of them will get a bit of a run here, and now they're going to attempt 3 wide again into turn 1 and 2. A little bit of a tap. The 17 gave the 14 just a little bit of a tap there. They gave Gerald an opportunity to get around, but can he get around the 27 of Kevin Bruner? Or Kevin Barnes, excuse me. And they're going to look briefly 3 wide through 3 and 4. Everybody settles down just to 2 wide for the moment. And with 25 laps to go, that pack 3rd through 7th catches up to 2nd place Kevin Bruner, and the 14 moves easily past him. Gerald Poole now looking to the inside. That 14 car, though, Andrew Cowart has just been so strong tonight, starting on the pole and making his way to 2nd place already. Bradley Berry, though, has continued to extend his lead over 3.5 seconds, with not a lot of time left for these guys to gain the ground they need. And with 20 laps to go, Gerald Poole has managed to move into 2nd place. He's still got Andrew Cowart right behind him, and they have actually managed to gain a lot of ground on leader Bradley Berry. That lead that was 2.5 seconds just a few laps ago, now diminishing to 1.6, 1.7 seconds as they come down the back straightaway. These guys might still have a chance to get up there and battle with the leader for that top spot. Everybody managing to stay single file in this group. As they come down the front straightaway, they get the 19 to go from their spotters, and single file trying to make up the distance on leader Bradley Berry. Will Bradley be able to hold him off? He is now starting to show into the picture. They can see him out of their front windows, and I am sure they are that looking in his mirror, Bradley is a little concerned at this point. And with just 16 laps to go as they cross the start-finish line, you see the side-by-side battle. That was for 4th place. Scott Whiteman and Andrew Cowart battling side-by-side. Andrew ends up coming out ahead, but then off of turn 2, Scott Whiteman gets the outside wall, manages to save it, only loses 1 position. An amazing save given what we saw earlier in the race when that outside wall was clipped. Scott Whiteman did an amazing job getting the car back up in line and keeping it going the right way. Bradley Berry continuing to lead with 14 laps to go. They do have to make 1 more pit stop here, and under green flag conditions, impressive that this race has stayed green the entire time. Bradley Berry ducks down pit road. This might be an opportunity for someone. Now Gerald Poole is coming to pit road. Scott Whiteman, Andrew Cowart, everybody on pit road except for the 45 of Michael Graynolds, who stays out and leads another lap here with just 13 to go. After a clever bit of pit strategy, Bill Schumatz has himself in 7th place, started making his way forward just a little bit and trying to pick up some positions. Michael Graynolds manages to hold on to 5th place right now, but Bradley Berry continues to lead the field with just 10 laps to go. Gerald Poole currently running in 2nd, but over 5 seconds behind. And no big help right now for Thanos. The 17 of Scott Whiteman in 3rd place is a couple of seconds back behind him. However, he has got a little bit of help coming from the 27 of Kevin Barnes. As we mentioned, in 5th is Michael Graynolds. He is kind of close to that group as well and might be able to provide some assistance. Art Mine currently running in 6th now. He has gotten past Bill Schumatz, who is currently running in 7th. Andrew Cowart, though, what a heartbreak for Andrew. He is now back in 8th place, 1 lap down, and Kevin Bruner had some problems during his pit stop and is now back to 9th. 2 laps down. So a bit of a heartbreak for 2 very fast drivers, 2 guys that led early on in the race. And coming down to 5 to go, Bradley Berry's lead is diminished just a little bit. It's down to 2.9 seconds, but the real story is this side-by-side battle for 2nd place as Scott Whiteman has ran Gerald Thanos Poole down and trying to get around him on the high side. He carries a lot more momentum off that top, but Thanos has been making that bottom line work. Can't do it this time, and now move Scott Whiteman into 2nd. Gerald Poole back to 3rd. Not far behind him, though, that could come into play before this is all over. The 27 of Kevin Barnes. Michael Graynolds, who hung out off the back all night, currently running in 5th with just some great strategy plays out of that car. Art Mine in the 15, currently running in 6th, having a great run here tonight, has picked up several positions since the start, and Bill Schumatz now up into 7th. And Bill actually starting to close the gap down on Art. We'll see if they can get together and have a side-by-side battle. Coming to 2 to go, and Bradley Berry has a 5-second lead and continues to extend that lead. And now, surprisingly, Scott Whiteman has managed to get around Thanos, but not only that, he has opened up a huge gap in just a few laps. Gerald Poole falling way back due to, I think he burned his tires up a little bit as Scott gets a little bit of the wall there off of turn 2, but Thanos burned up a little bit of his tires and is falling back. He might actually fall into the grips of the 27 car before the race is all said and done. Kevin Barnes in 4th is actually starting to close that gap a little bit on the 3 car, but a long distance and not a lot of time left. Bradley Berry picking up the white flag off into turn 1, the lead at 3.1 second currently. Gerald Thanos Poole another 6 seconds back. Down the back straightaway he goes, and Bradley Berry is going to pull off the win here at Michigan in the G2 Racing League battle. And what a battle it was for Bradley Berry. Definitely the dominant car of the night. Had to overcome some difficulties on pit road, but has made his way back to the front. And a great job by the 2nd place car, Scott Whiteman, coming through the field more than once, falling back a couple of times, couple of different incidents, still manages to pull off the 2nd place finish. Gerald Thanos Poole coming home 3rd in the Tennifer Gen car, does an amazing job as well and continues dominating in the points. The 27 of Kevin Barnes coming home in 4th place, and Michael Graynolds pulling off the 5th on some brilliant strategy. Bill Schumotz comes home 6th. Art Mine is 7th. Andrew Coward is 8th. Kevin Bruner is 9th. And John Saunders rounding out the 10-car field here tonight. Bradley Berry headed toward victory lane with a little help there in case he runs out of gas. He is not going to run out of gas, and let's see what kind of celebration he has in store for us today. There he goes, making the donuts. Congratulations to Bradley Berry, the winner from Michigan.